Hello everyone, I got a surprise I wanted to share with y'all about one of my birds, but first I gotta tell you about some of their behavior that I noticed. Some of my birds have been acting very strange and I didn't understand why. So just like always, I set out some seeds in the morning for them to eat and they usually all come flying down to get their share of the seeds. But today, one of them was missing. This is very unusual and I haven't really seen this before. I have 7 birds in my aviary and here is only 6, so I'm missing my green and orange one. And this is very unusual for her to skip the morning seeds. So I decided to investigate. Now recently I have noticed that the green and orange one has been very territorial around her nest. She won't let anyone by her nest, she won't let anyone on her nest. And every time someone goes around her nest, she gets mad and kicks them away. Now I know that all my females have eggs in their nest, but not all of them were fertile and I didn't really think much of it, but I noticed her behavior was very different from a couple weeks ago. She's a very different bird than she was even just a few days ago. She kind of stopped eating and I was wondering why she doesn't eat as much because she's just been hanging around in her nest. Doesn't really come out much, but her boy right here, this black and gray one, her partner, I noticed that he eats a lot more than he used to. And I thought it was really interesting because he started sticking around after everybody's done eating and eating a little bit extra. And I thought that was really cool. And I realized it's just because he's going back in the nest and feeding his family, which is exactly what he's supposed to do. And that's what he does out in the wild. I think it's really awesome. So usually out in the wild, what the birds will do if they're sitting on eggs is the female will stay in the nest with her eggs and the male will go fly out and find food and bring enough food back for the whole family. And what they do is the male will regurgitate the food for the female and feed it to her directly from his mouth, which some people might think it's kind of weird, but I think it's adorable. It's just how they do it. And I noticed that this is what has been going on for the past few days. The female doesn't really leave her nest. She kind of just stays on top of her nest or stays in her nest and waits for the male to come back and feed her. And that's how she eats. So I was super excited to see these behavior differences and I could already tell I didn't even need to look in the nest. I could already tell that her eggs had probably hatched just because of the drastic behavior difference. So I decided to give her another day without disturbing her before I looked in the nest. I also set out some additional materials and vitamins that they can have and they really enjoyed those a lot. I want to show you guys in her nest. You can see she had 5 eggs and one of them hatched into a little baby chick. Now, the birds will usually hatch either every day or every other day until all of them are hatched. She was sitting on 5 and when she sits on them, that lets us know that she knows that all the eggs are good. If she kicks one of them away, we know that that egg was bad and we don't need to worry about that because the mom knows what she's doing and she's designed to know how to take care of her babies. And finally, I'm super excited to announce that we've had our first successful breeding for the season. This is our first baby bird hatched this season. And I just want to remind everyone to subscribe to the channel because I have a lot of big plans coming in the future and I want to update you guys as soon as I possibly can. It's been a super exciting time for me and I want to encourage y'all to just look on the bright side of life. Don't focus on the negative that's going on and don't focus on the past, just move forward for the future. And with that, I'd like to allow you guys to just get outside, take a breath of fresh air, be happy, and as always, have a lovely day.